This could be a wraparound here. EGM sneaking in as the Invis Rune, and they're going to start this off with the Shadow Strike. There are 2 charges up on the Spirit Siphon though, so they're going to need to burst him. If he gets one off, they might have to disengage, but they get the lift. Then the drop comes through, and he's a bit late there on the Fairy Fire. He is Spirit Siphoning though, gets EGM. He ends up getting the first blood. Jules to the rescue. Potato turning it. It looks like it's going to be a 2-0. Mineski salvaging that and coming out way on top.
Whoa, it looked like for a second he'd made a mistake not using the Spirit Siphon earlier, but boy, does he barely survive. 2 null talismans, the extra survivability that he got from that.
Charging on the bottom lane here, perhaps 3 heroes. They smoke around. Jules, the man in front, is waiting for the opening. Doesn't really want to go on Loda though. He's looking for that Keeper of the Light, but Alliance playing very cautiously. They have the lane ward. The pings are coming out. NP into the tree line, and well, they're going to find the Bristleback here first. Way down to the south is Gandalf, but they've managed to cage the Armadillo, and they roll on with the spin. They grab another kill on the core. Meanwhile, mid lane as well. The action continues in earnest. Raging Potato, no supports to help him out with the Spirit Siphon. Enough for now, eventually does go down, so it's a 1-for-1. A Bristleback or a Death Prophet, but Bulldog just chilling top lane, working towards that Necrobook.
A lot of alone time. His Necrobook timing going to be very, very good this game.
Oh, they want Bacareno. He's up pretty far here. And the flank has been prepared. They've got a Queen of Pain, Sonic Wave ready to go, and they're just going to unwind on him. NP down. No problem to get that kill. Tusk will show up a bit late. Is going to try for a shards. Not enough to grab the kill there. Zestfor will blink away to safety. Up to 1,300 gold now. Are just heading straight down this lane, looking for their 3rd tier 1 tower. Seems like Alliance so far, gods, they're losing the pushing game despite having the Keeper of the Light.
And as long as Mineski are grouped up as 5, Alliance can't easily fight into them. You raw someone, there's potential for a snowball pickup to save them. So you can't reliably get that burst at the start of a fight, and that means that engaging the Mineski is very difficult.
They're going to snowball, speaking of which, onto Ake, takes the Walrus Punch, then the spin, and Ake goes down. Then they manage to block Loda back. Raging Potato wants a piece of that action. But while that's happening, Queen of Pain is pushing in mid together with Bulldog's Alliance. Split pushing for all their worth, not wanting to take the head-on engagements. Mineski, they keep the pressure up though. Exorcism ready. They may pop in here momentarily. In Alliance, they just don't have the deep push. They're going to roll deep for this. Shards up the mark. Oh, they might be in a bit too far. Jules getting lifted, dragged back towards the tower, but Raging Potato there to zone them out. This drops a TP from the respawning Keeper of the Light. But all the while, Alliance working on a tier 2 in the mid lane, so it might be an even trade here as far as the towers go.
They're ready to back off though. They took 2 towers, so they can defend NT 2 at least.
Spinning forward, trying to kill off that Necrobook. We'll get that bit of bonus gold from Bulldog.
I mean, great trades for Mineski. They get 2 towers. The only play Alliance can make there is to try and split push using their Beastmaster Necrobook, which is still just level 1, and Death Prophet's dead. Mineski's not going to be able to push. So ideal scenario is you figure out who's going to be alone. If it's Nature's Prophet, somewhere like solo pushing a lane, go and gank the Nature's Prophet. If it's Jug, try and smoke gank him as they tried earlier on at bottom lane. It didn't work, but you've got to keep looking for that play.
Oh, Mineski, they saw that Ancient stack being cleared out. I believe Heroes running back and forth, and now they creep into the pit, maybe thinking even the Roche was being attempted. Are they going to sneak it?
They just want to
do Mineski have the cojones for this? You bet they do. Into the pit they go. Wave of Terror, very carefully thrown to the south, so as not to be easily scouted by Alliance. Bottom lane is pushing, and no one's defending. Alliance might have an idea of what's up, but they've yet to move into the pit. They really need to start channeling up that first Illuminate.
He's got no TP as well. I suppose just not going to be here in time.
They don't have a blink on the Beastmaster. They just got to waddle into the pit, and it's far too late. Mineski have snagged the Aegis right out from under the watchful eyes of Alliance.
Yep.
Not vigilant there when they needed to be, and certainly another win for Mineski, who we mentioned all the sustain they have for a push. Give them a second life.
I think the big thing Mineski have to be wary of as they go for a push is they're still very low level. You haven't got level 2 Omni Slasher. You haven't got level 2 Exorcism. These 2 ultis receive big upgrades when you get to level 11. So I'm fine with them going for these tier 2 towers, but they need to not jump ahead of themselves and say, okay, we've got Aegis, let's go high ground right now, because they could get punished there if they're not careful with the AoE of Queen of Pain and the Keeper of the Light Illuminate. There's still plenty of counter push for Alliance. Alliance will not give up easily here, despite the Aegis push coming their way.
Well, Mineski so far, they've been very disciplined, very prepared for Alliance's movements, and they continue to slowly work on outer objectives, not diving too deep for kills. They get the mech, they chip at the tower. It's Alliance on defense. Mineski continuing the onslaught, but Denher will drop low. He gets forced back. The healing ward there to regen him up, and again Alliance split push. Queen of Pain and Beastmaster, two peas in a pod, constantly grouped up together. Tower will be denied mid. As the Radiant Glyph comes through, they are teleporting in reinforcements to the top lane. Jules the first man in, he gets the snowball off his Bulldog, attempted for the roar. They're gonna roll for this, actually not. They'll be fine. But now they chase forward onto S4, blinks out. Can they catch him? Sprout getting fogged here. It is nighttime. Turn. He's got the arcane rune. Not sure he'll be able to kill him in time, and he does blink away again.
Oh, but he blinked into
Raging Potato. Do they get the silence here? Does he have it yet? Now S4. One more blink. And this last one enough. He TP's out, but Alliance creating some space, slowing Mineski down. They did get the tower deny mid. Yeah, they're not crumbling under the pressure.
Oh no, Alliance playing defensive once again with the Aegis, and likely this last outer tower is going to be dropping 16.5 minutes in the game. At some point, the high ground push will come.
This game of keep away continues for Alliance, but Mineski are going to call for a game of chicken. Come home, Alliance. Your base is in trouble. Home is under siege. And meanwhile, mid, Alliance also sieging. They're going high ground too. Who's going to push faster here? We'll have to see. They work on it, but Bulldog does get caught by a snowball. There's the Walrus punch as well. The tower's down, and Juggernaut spinning his way onto Bulldog. They're trying to bring down the Beastmaster. Goes for the TP out. Ain't gonna happen. Ben-Hur able to finish him off with the assistance of Jules, so they give up the kill, Alliance do, but they do force Mineski back, and they get the tier 3 first. Swinging back towards the mid lane. We have seen some additional item pickups here. The Queen of Pain Orchid complete at the same time that Raging Potato grabs his Yule Scepter, so a retort there, perhaps. Just classic items for these heroes. The Necro 3 online now. And Alliance creeping forward, but Mineski appear to be wise to this. They do have the ward. They see it coming.
They want to fight while X is on cooldown, but at the same time, initiating on death property as an Aegis, not ideal.
Oh, they are going to head up the hill. They find Jules first. That's a little bit sweeter, but Bimbo's got off a really nice snoop there from the Bell, and now they move on to Bulldog. The Exorcism coming. He's got a double Spirit Type, and they cannot fight him head on. They're trying to kill off the backliners, but they've already lost 2. Big fours hitting the deck, and Loda coming next. EGF choked down. That's going to be 3. Mineski pushing for 4. Loda might be next. Just need one more auto attack. He turns his back. He heads for the hill. The wave of terror's there. They get him in the Sprout. They need that bench stun to complete it. The Quill stack up, but it's not enough. It's 4 down. Necro will finish off one lingering Mineski hero, while Bimbo chases forward. That's 1. Angry Potato. He does the Yules. Doesn't need it. It's a wipe. Mineski cleaning up there. It did cost them a buyback, but well worth it.
Oh boy, Mineski taking out the entire Alliance squad. Around, it was split between all the treants and everything, so EGM, even with the big plays he makes.
There's a Yules here down at the bottom rune. It looks like we might have some action breaking out. Snowball forward onto S4, he blinks back. Oh, Jules, lucky he didn't end up on the wrong side of that hill, but they're still hunting him. They roar, they commit, and that will end up being a dieback. So Jules, a bridge too far for him. He does go down. Did earlier see Loda building his own Hood of Defiance, so perhaps a pipe will be next on the list for the Bristleback, and they're basically going to fight fire with fire, but S4, top side of the map, Omni Slash is there, Mineski assassinate the Queen of Pain. A nice silence to start that one off, just doesn't have an escape plan at that point.
When it wears off, then goes back in when it's back up, so with the Hood of Defiance, he's just tanky himself, and it's kind of a bit more cost-effective approach to the game.
Mineski transitioning off of that Queen of Pain kill immediately into a push, but it's right as the Bristleback completed pipe comes out. Exorcism pop nice and early, but that blinding light does not matter against these ghosts that just pound into the tower. It's almost down. Glyph forced out. This time, no split push from Alliance. They'll be fighting this one head on, and we do see Bulldog wrapping around for the flank. Any second now, the Beastmaster could get the jump, but do Mineski realize they throw out the shards? They knew he was there. They did a vision behind them, and they snowball. Yeah. Kill that pig.
The important thing for Mineski is not to get caught on the retreat with Exorcism wearing off.
Speaking of which, there is a Manta up here on Ben-Hur, so he's absolutely fine against this Orchid, and they continue to chase Bulldog. A bit lucky there, or unlucky with the shards rather, for Jules. And to the north side, the Queen of Pain ult comes through, but Raging Potato relatively healthy. Ben-Hur on the run. The Ghost chasing him back. Very discombobulated from Mineski. They are going to lose the Potato potentially here. Throws out the Yules, but Jules will fall. It could be him next as the stolen Exorcism goes to work. EGM completely wrecking Mineski. 3 hitting the deck. And off to the mid lane, it's going to be up to the old Baccarino to split push these lanes back out.
Bulldog positioning that fight is so good. Even with himself getting spotted by an observer ward, he prevents the Mineski lineup's big gap is the lack of pick-off. They're going to build those 2 items to try and resolve things.
Game settling down now, a very even clash thus far. Only a 3,000 gold and 2,000 experience advantage for Mineski. It's felt like the tempo has been almost entirely theirs for most of the game, but here comes Alliance rumbling down towards the big rock in the pit. They want this Roshan. All cooldowns online for Mineski.
Oh, they've seen it though with the scan.
And they're working on it. The scan did come out, and they frantically scramble towards the pit. The Nature's Prophet has to teleport into the pit, ready to go. The entire Mineski squad are just bulldozing in already. Raging Potato, he's popped the ultimate, but he gets pushed onto the high ground by Ake. Not completely caught out, but is isolated from the fight, and they manage to get the Aegis here. As for it, Loda now feeling very confident to move in. There's the roll forward. On to Bulldog. Raging Potato still working, but it's on to Loda. He's very tanky. Not an easy hero to bring down another Spirit Siphon. He shrugs it off. This Crimson Guard doing work as Bacarino will end up going down. The Nature's Prophet hits the deck. And Mineski, they do see some stragglers here, but they're very tanky ones, Scots. Can they really kill off Loda? This Bristleback is not an easy grab. They're going to try. They silence his fort. They roll onto him. They turn for the Queen of Pain. She's caught out. One more swipe. There's the Aegis down, but EGM sitting on the backside of this fight, just looking for spell steals, looking for a way to salvage it. As for blinking back, and Mineski chasing forward. The Sprout ends up catching them in. EGM keeping them out of the fight, and Loda desperately juking through the trees, getting nuked down bit by bit. They finally, almost, not quite. They want to slay that beast, but he's still alive in the trees. These quills are too much. Kill that Armadillo, Mineski. There they go. Finally bringing him down, but it comes at cost. They've spent so long on the Bristle that Alliance get to clean up a few on the back lines. It ends up being 4 Mineski heroes dead. When the dust settles in Alliance, they race forward bottom.
A dieback from Nature's Prophet on top of that. That is an incredible teamfight execution from Alliance, taking the chance to get into the Roshan pit, securing themselves Aegis, and that lift slowing down the the Death Prophet's march towards the pit was just so important from EGM. And suddenly Alliance are pushing forward 30 plus seconds without Death Prophet and the Nature's Prophet. This is looking like a potentially hard to defend push coming out of Alliance.
If nothing else, all the lanes will be shoved in. Alliance will be able to get some deep wards down, potentially go for that tier 2 top, but screw that, they say. We see an opening here. About 20-30 seconds before the exorcism's even up, and they jump on S4, but he pops the BKB. He silences Ben-Hur, lifting him up. Roar is there, but there's the swap from Cass to try and save him. S4 hunting deep. Can he get the kill? Ben-Hur's angry. He wants some vengeance. Can't find it, though. They've already lost the Venge. Just respawn back to the grave. They repel the push, but it's another free kill for Alliance as the Nature's Prophet ult splashes through. Alliance still healthy through this. They're resetting. They may end the push here, but it's just a small additional increment for them as we see top lane creeps for Mineski, giving them a little bit of damage on the range tracks, but that is not something that's going to win them this game on its own. And back in away.
And Mineski know they're not in Roche. They have the tree in there, and that's
gonna disappear soon though, and they may be forced to move in. Alliance, they poke
no
Roche
smokes
a few
available.
times.
They'll be walking right past the dire vision.
They're running up the hill. They're scouted by that dire ward. They're streaming towards the pit. Alliance setting up the ambush. It's going to be a good Keeper of the Light nuke to start. And they've caught out the Raging Potato. They have to save this Death Prophet. They snowball her forward into the middle of the entire Alliance squad. Juggernaut to the rescue. The Exorcism going back the other way. EGM, though, fairly squishy. Has to be careful not to go down. Mineski lurching in, eager for combat as S4 looks for the flank. He is going to get eyes here on Bacarino. The silence coming out, trying to burst down the NP. They do kill off EGM. Stolen Exorcism gone, and Loda to be next. Not quite finished off though, just so damn tanky, but they slow him down again. There's the perk from the jug. Mineski have made it too. Buyback available on that Bristle if they want to pop it. Bulldog in the trees, make it 3 for Mineski, and the Roche almost certainly theirs unless Alliance blow a hell of a lot of buybacks, and they've only got 2 right now.
Just great, fast, ballsy movement from Mineski. They did not mess around. They took a beeline towards that Roche pit as soon as Alliance showed themselves there. And kind of like your highlights, even with the Stolen next to them, I love EGM play. He hides in the trees. He's waiting for that Death Prophet to use it, and the vision meant that he was going to get a guaranteed extra kill. The problem is EGM very squishy, and the team fight around Alliance are very dependent on first team down here at the start of the fight. With the Roar into Sonic Wave, they've got to kill off someone like either the Jug or the Death Prophet, or they can't win the fight. And
ready to go, and the siege commences. It's Jug out in front, 30 seconds on his ultimate. Raging Potato close behind. How do Alliance counter this? They're not split pushing. They've come home to defend. There's the glyph. A fresh Sprout, waiting for that next round of Treants. It's slow and steady for Mineski, but they do have the Blink Abyssal on the Jug, so at any moment he could go for an assassination here, and Exorcism is now committed. They rush forward onto Loda. There's the punch, spinning on him, laid into him with the ghost. They want to kill Loda, and by golly, they will, but the Nature's Prophet is the cost. So far, 1 for 1, and they've got the power play now as Loda buys back. Mineski looks like they may need to retreat. They've also lost their Aegis. Raging Potato, steady his ground, but a beautiful blinding light by Aki pushes him away from the team. Ben-Hur's back in. Potato wants to be as well. If they can kill Loda, that's a dieback. But there comes S4 unwinding with the Sonic Wave. Will slay another. Death Prophet down for 70. Alliance holding and returning fire. There's the Shivas. The goo comes out, and down goes the third. Mineski have overplayed their hand. Alliance hold the high ground. It seems pushing is very hard this game.
Oh, man. Loda is just kind of, in some ways, the hero of that defense. He just runs in knowing, he throws away his life to defend the higher ground. That is exactly what the call had to be. Loda, go in and die. You've got buyback money. First damage, I think, catches Bimbo by surprise, and suddenly it's Alliance on the high ground, who looking to break back and take a lane of racks for themselves.
Yeah, he animation canceled it a couple of times there, wanted to ensure that it snagged the kill, and indeed here it did. As Loda gets caught out, remember, that's the dieback if he goes down. It's very important they keep the Bristleback alive, but fortunately, Loda is insanely tanky as he continues to deal with all of the nukes and attacks being thrown his way, and now the Roar comes down onto Valkyrie. Great swap back by Cash to save the day. Jules up in the air, Ben-Hur on the run, Alliance will go routing Mineski. They bring down 2. Mineski could be on their last legs here. Bulldog with the refresher finds the Roar, but it's Raging Potato to the rescue. At least stops the bleeding for now, but they have lost that first and potentially decisive lane of racks. Mineski not out of it yet. They will get the Bulldog kill, down for 70. And it seems the game of ping pong will continue as this time Mineski charged down mid. Bulldog for Mineski. They're not that far off on the bench, but other than that, nobody's really close.
They do know Loda can't do what he did last time, which was just be that frontline tank to force out, or to use his buyback to force Mineski's engagement, but at the same time, heroes like Queen of Pain could potentially do that. Beastmaster, if he gets to the goal, can do that.
Again deployed, and the siege round billion commences. They swap to start this one off. Cash does catch out Loda. This could be the dieback. Alliance need him. He runs. The snowballs indeed perhaps a bit too far. Bakarino's gonna pay. Jules has dragged him into trouble, but S4 is getting beaten down by Ben-Hur. Raging Potato in very deep. Remember, he's got buyback, but he really doesn't want to have to use it. The Exorcism goes. Again, they lay into Loda. Man, he's tanky, but snowball number 2, not enough. It actually falls a bit short. The Sharks trapped him in, but these force stabs from Alliance, keeping them in the fight, keeping them in the game. Mineski has pretty much unloaded their entire arsenal, and they have to run again. Bench down, Tusk as well, dead for a minute. Will Mineski lose more? Dropping the silence here, Raging Potato, he tries for the TP out. Is there anything else to cancel this? No, siree.
Nice.
Does the math, realizes there's no roars, and it's only a lift that can stop it. Silences EGM and gets away, so great poise there under pressure by Raging Potato. Still though, gods, they try to go high ground again, and again, they just can't do it.
And EGM has a stolen swap. The double 4-star from Ake and EGM also saving Loda's life there. Not just the first time when he got swapped Hex in, but also the second time when he got sprouted up. Loda would look to be in a lot of trouble, but these 4-stars from Alliance just winning them that fight and putting Mineski once again onto the back foot, and Mineski just starting to lack damage. The Bristleback's so damn tanky.
And they could kill him if they could lock him down, but he gets swapped out, he gets forced step back, he gets healed up by the Keeper of the Light. They just don't get to focus him in these fights. And so Alliance and
committed a Shiver's Guard on Death Prophet, no buyback on Raging Potato. They really want to take this fight.
This will be a head-on clash. Alliance lanes are not that close where they can just go for the split push, unless this turns into an incredibly long siege. The Sigil flies high above the Mineski forces, and in comes Death Prophet once more under the breach. Will the third time, maybe the fifth time be the charm? They started off with a swap, forced after blinding light and all over the place, but will be able to re-engage here. Still at full HP. Loda though really hurt. hurting, even with the Spirit Slicing. Raging Potato struggling to bring him down. On the south side of the fight, though, they have Ice Lady F4. They're going to Omni Abyssal him into submission, but now Raging Potato drops. No buyback. The all-in is backfired. Alliance hold, and now they push out. Bulldog on the chase. He's got the Hawk flying high. Hunting the Nature's Prophet through the trees. Goes for the Self-Sprout. Are they ready for this? They got the lift. They get the kill. Alliance have brought down 3. None of them with buyback. And they may just march down mid.
That was effectively a 5v10. All 5 Alliance heroes had buyback. Mineski, 0 buybacks. They were fully committed to that one. They buy the Shiver's Guard on Death Prophet. They bought out on their entire team to go for that push. And meanwhile, Alliance is sitting back like, okay, this push is coming. Okay, do we need to send someone in who can buy back? Well, everyone's like, okay, I got buyback, you got buyback, sweet, we got 5 buybacks. Let's just, well, we can just straight up win this fight, like, no problem.
And on top of buybacks, they now have new items here. The Queen of Pain Lincoln Sphere coming out. Assault Cuirass completed for the Bristleback. Pretty late by Bristle standards, but considering the other items he's gone for, Loda is going to be a beast in these fights. And Alliance, imbued with those buybacks, rotate to the bottom lane. They work on the Sigil. That will drop first. But now the real structural damage can begin. Still 40 seconds without the Nature's Prophet. Death Prophet 10 seconds away. And even when she's back, she won't have the Exorcism for a couple more, but there's the ult on to Jules. He's down. Alliance in the lower brackets fighting not only for their Manila major lives, but perhaps their TI invite ones as well, are staying the course. They get the Spirit Siphon off on Loda. They continue to press forward. Raging Potato just surging into the entire enemy team here, but EGM sitting far back and threatening to go in. And now with the Exorcism having been committed, gods, Alliance can wait this one out. And even if all 5 heroes are alive, Death Prophet's not really going to be much of one without her ultimate, so they may just go back in when it's been used up.
Yeah, the only big threat at that point becomes the Jug. For now, it looks like EGM TPing bottom, signaling the Alliance retreat, perhaps. Also just signaling...
Looks like he may want to shove out this lane.
Yeah, you're worried about the Nature's Prophet TPing in to kind of split push and backdoor some of these racks. Both mid and top exposed.
Not a tactic we've seen Mineski go for this game, but definitely something that's possible. Alliance certainly has shown they can do it on the FP. They sprout out low to the start. They're going to continue to try and bring down this Bruiser in the front line, but it's too late for the melee racks. That as well has fallen. 2 melee racks down, arranged in the mid, and possibly another soon to drop in the mid lane. Or the bottom lane, rather. They move forward, purging Loda, hacking away, but it's very slow work, and Loda does it much quicker. One swing of that mace, dropping the Jug rapidly. They'll reset. The wave has joined them. They continue to just pummel the entire enemy squad and their band of heroes with the Keeper of the Light Nukes, healing themselves up, dropping Mineski down in these long, prolonged, sustained engagements. Alliance, they just seem to outlast them thus far.
They've got Healing Ward. Egypt just keeps stealing these big spells. He's had Swamp for like 5 minutes. Now he's got a Healing Ward up his sleeve. This is just getting too much for Mineski to deal with.
They just can't deal with Loda. He's got 4 supports right now, it feels like. Everyone stands behind him. The Beast will see you through. But now he finds Jules a bit out of position. There's the Hex to start the spin. For what little it'll do, will follow on the Loda, and Raging Potato's in deep. 4 step back to try to protect him. Glimmer as well, but he's basically on an island here. He needs some help from the squad. Alliance. Ooh. A pause in the middle of the chaos as a PC crashes.
I don't think Mineski actually want to be chasing here, so perhaps it's like okay for them just to be like, okay, let's breathe, let's kind of regroup.
Yeah, the problem is they just committed Exorcism
and
again.
Bulldog has another Raw available. Raging Potato is really getting hurt. Every fight the Mana Leak on him prevents his chases from happening. And that's kind of annoying because he can't even use his Yule Scepter. Often in a position like where you're getting focused down by 4 or 5 heroes, you just want to use that defensive Yules, throw yourself up in the air. While that's happening, you're life-stealing with Spirit Siphon, you're dealing out damage with Exorcism, but I haven't seen him be able to get off a Yules in like a single team fight because he's always out of mana, and that's with a 2.5k mana pool. This Keeper of the Light Mana Leak is doing wonders in these fights.
That and the Necro Bulk, it really does stack up. And he's always out in front, so it's not hard to cast the spells on him.
Well, Mineski may just have to back off, and something you kind of mentioned, if that Exorcism goes down, that's kind of just signals Alliance to charge forward, go for that push.
I mean, the last time it went down, just moments ago, they lost to melee racks. It goes down again. Alliance probably take the range for free. And at that point, gods, we already thought Mineski were all in. They're going to be extremely all in for the upcoming fights.
It's really do or die. Jug cannot afford to die. He's actually 9 gold short of buyback, so likely he'll tick over that any second now and actually have a buyback for this fight, which is going to be very important for them, but Nature's Prophet a little bit short, and
I mean, you mentioned that they lack damage. At this point, is it too late? Like, where do you see the damage coming from here?
a second Death Prophet ultimate, get a refresher in the mix, but how are you going to have the mana for that? So I don't really see a realistic scenario where Death Prophet can get a second ulti off like in the middle of an Alliance squad, but here we go. Things get back underway. We'll hop back into the game.
Oh, a moment to breathe for Mineski, but they've got to be very halting, tentative breaths.
Bok is already TP top. He's going to shove things here. It looks like the rain tracks unless a glyph comes out, but the beauty of this Keeper of the Light means you can TP someone back as they did earlier with the Rubik and then instantly get recalled in. So you've got great tools to deal with the split push, and while the rain tracks won't actually die, nor is it something really worth committing to for Mineski. That's not going to change the state of this game. Just give them a bit of a gold boost more than anything.
Even a single melee is not enough to change the state of the game entirely, as Alliance already have 2 down. And so far, they have had the buyback advantage down the stretch. Worth mentioning, Bulldog continues to be the highest hero in terms of net worth this game. As a Beastmaster at 50 minutes into the game, this has been a vintage Bulldog performance on one of his slightly less common heroes. Definitely, I think, one of his most comfortable, but obviously not as iconic as the NP or the Lone Druid, or even the Broodmother. But he's coming through here. And now that Alliance have grabbed the most recent agent.
Effective damage, but I mean, how much difference does a Desolator make? It's a bit of minus armor, a bit of physical damage, but that's, at the end of the day, what they need, as much physical damage as possible.
Well, Loda, they couldn't kill him once in the last fight, and now they've got to deal with S4 having 2. Wall sitting in the back lines. He will get sprouted out for the time being. The Spirit Sight been doing a lot of work. EGM just sitting back, waiting for good spells to steal, and suddenly Loda's back up to full HP as the heals from the Keeper of the Light continue to rain in. They punch S4 up in the air, but that's a hero they got to bring down, not once, but 2 times. They lose Jules. There's the Queen of Padal, and they rush forward onto the Potato. Alliance get the Rage Rack. They might get more. Jimbo can't afford to die here, but die he will. Out for 80. He has a buyback, but he doesn't have an Exorcism, and this time Alliance might just skip and go straight for the throne. They had the stolen Exorcism once more. EGM lets it loose.
Oh my
Churning
God,
through Mineski building. Banging on the front door. Nobody's home for Mineski. They just can't withstand the onslaught. Loda just stands and fights, and Mineski can't take the punishment. Heroes are falling. Buildings are crumbling. The end times are here for the Filipino squad. Down goes the melee. The range is all that remains, and a frantic rat game begins. But Alliance know how to deal with that. The Nature's Prophet heads to the top side, but it's far too late, it feels. Alliance are just going to stick around mid. They can't even easily get a full lane of Rax top. Will Ben-Hur be able to turn the tides? He does get the stun off on S4, but S4 jumping away. And now they have managed to catch up the MP. Oh, actually gets the Bulldog kill. A pretty big one, but it's Megas Gods. It's all in time for Mineski here.
Yeah, I mean, Megas says it all. You get a Raxel too, it's not going to make that much of a difference. Bok is perhaps going to look for the EGM kill, but it's too late. He's committed, and Bulldog buying back.
And they're lurking on Ake. They do bring him down as well. That's 2 down, but another buyback is ready, and they haven't even chosen to spend it yet. Mineski just not getting structures off of these back and forth engagements. The kills are nice, but it's the buildings that win you the game, and so far Alliance have had the upper hand. This time, though, Loda may actually drop 2. That's going to be 3 heroes down, including the Bulldog death, but also having buyback is Loda. Alliance just making the right calls and being very patient in a clutch situation. Now they're going to rotate S4 bottom. He might even be able to kill off Bacarino if he's not careful. This Nature's Prophet does not have buyback. S4 creeping in. This could be the go for the jugular maneuver, and S4 slits his throat, and it's straight onto the towers now. Tier 4 dropping. Mineski, this could be checkmate.
Yeah, Bulldog
S4 drags them back.
Bulldog's like, why do we need to defend? There is an exposed throne almost.
Do Mineski go for the enemy throne here? They're going to pop Exorcism. They're turning for Rax. It's just not happening fast enough for them.
LD.
Somebody has to go home, but sitting back to cancel TPs is EGM. Potato says screw it. It's all in on the throne. They said only to toss the stall, but is it really enough? The throw dropping. Quickly it falls, and S4 blinks to the left with one last throw of the dagger. Down goes the throne. And Alliance move on. They survive. Mineski eliminated here at the Manila Major in front of a hometown crowd. A brutal way to go out. but it does set the stage for a Na'Vi versus Alliance showdown in the lower bracket.
I mean, for Mineski, they've got to hold their heads high. They show what they showed during the group stages. They are not a team to be underestimated. They took a game off of Evil Geniuses. Here they are taking a game off of Alliance. These guys do not mess around. They have had some incredibly close series time and time again.